Hiya! So today I am going to bring you my book haul from the last few months. Basically, since my last book haul, these are the books that I've acquired. There are many books, and I'm gonna be brief with each one of them, so this is not like the longest video you've ever watched in your life. There's a million different genres. There's even non-fiction, which for me is not something I usually gravitate towards, but let's start. So first off, I got The Final Empire by Brendan Sanderson. I can never say his name. Brendan Sanderson. I've been hunting these editions with the watercolor covers because the ones that are sold here in Brazil and the Brazil Amazon are the American covers, and these are so much more beautiful, but I can't find them anywhere. So I've been trying Book Depository, but it's not arriving, and the ones that I could find so far were The Final Empire and Hero of Ages. So I can't start because I haven't got the second one. This is the first one in the series, and this is the third one in the series, and I still am to find The Well of Ascension, which is the second one in the series, and then I feel safe to start Mistborn. Finally, I bought, like, I was in a major mental health kick, so I bought like a bunch of books just with centered around mental health and stuff like that. A friend of mine sent me like a list of books that centered around mental health, and I was like looking at them and going through Goodreads, and I bought a lot of them. So first, here is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. This is about a girl with OCD. This is Girl Against the Universe. I have no idea what it is about, but it centers around mental health, and it came signed. I bought it on Amazon and it came signed. It was like such a cool thing to find. Words on Bathroom Walls by Julia Walton. I've already read this and it's really good. It's about a boy with schizophrenia. Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. I think this is about schizophrenia. I don't know exactly. I'm not gonna read every synopsis of every book, as I've said, since we're gonna be here for a long time, but I feel like I want to know this one. Yeah, she fights a daily battle to decipher what's real and what is not, so she definitely has schizophrenia, and it's another book in the mental health kick that I just bought like a dozen of them. This one is Highly Illogical Behavior by John Carey Whaley. It's about a boy with agoraphobia. I was on a major poetry kick too, so I bought some poetry books, mostly Rilke. It's a mess here, I'm gonna find them. But first, I bought Howl and Other Poems by Allen Ginsberg. Talking about nonfiction, I bought In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. This is a Portuguese edition. I bought this book. It's a Brazilian author, and it's about anthropology. basically about indigenous people, and I bought it basically only because the name of the book is my name, so I have yet to read it. I bought A Court of Silver and Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I haven't even read the first one, but this one came out and I know I'm gonna read it, the series, so I just went ahead and bought it. So I'm not gonna put here the books that I've acquired on Kindle or ebook or audiobook, but on Scribd I read what's it called, The Prince and the Dressmaker, and I fell in love. It's the cutest little, not little, graphic novel, and I fell in love with the artwork, and the artist is Jen Wang, so I was like searching for books with Jen Wang as the artist, and I bought this one called Stargazing, which is basically about her life as a young child. Continuing with the mental health kick, I bought Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. This is about a girl who tries to commit suicide by cutting her wrists, and she is put in a hospital, and like she can't leave. So I started reading this book actually, and it was so triggering that I had to stop for now, and I'm gonna continue when I'm like feeling a little bit stronger. This one is kind of controversial because some people with mental health say this book doesn't portray them in the correct light, but other people say they really love it, so I bought it to see what I would find, and it's All the Bright Places by Niven, I don't know. So the first book I read by Haig was The Midnight Library, and I was entirely disappointed. That book got a 3 stars for me, but I was like, I really want to like this author because I like what he writes on Twitter and stuff like that, so I bought another book by him called How to Stop Time, and this blew my mind. It was really good. I gave this one 5 stars, and so I'm gonna continue with the Matt Haig. I bought The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which is a dark academia, very famous book. I don't know what else to say about it. It has like murder and really intelligent people in an academic setting. That's all I know about it. I bought this really cute copy of Emma because I realized I don't have any of. I just have one really better copy, and that can't stand. I have to have a really cute copy of Emma, so I bought this one by Jane Austen. I bought The Dark Interval by Rilke. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. I mean, how can a book be so simple and steal your heart and just melt it to oblivion? This is just a picture book with like a few words, and it steals your heart. I think anyone who read this would feel at least a tinge of melting in your heart. I bought Agnes Grey by Anne Brontë, which is the sister of Charlotte Brontë, which is the writer of Jane Eyre, which is my favorite book, and I want to read the works by her sisters. I've already read Wuthering Heights by Emily Brontë, so now I'm gonna go into Anne Bronte's work. And for that, I also bought The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Brontë. This one I'm actually reading right now, but I'm really in the beginning. I'm like on page 30 or something. I bought Agua Viva by Clarice Lispector. So I don't know if you're new here, but I collect Jane Eyre editions, and I bought 3 since the past book haul. This one, it's beautiful. It's the Cloth Bound by Penguin. I bought this one, which is for children. It's like a little adaptation. And this copy. I bought The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I need some YA fantasy in my life. I also bought The Wicked King by Holly Black and The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So one of my favorite books is I Captured the Castle by Dodie Smith, and I never read anything else by Dodie Smith, and I really wanted to change that, so I bought The Town in Bloom by Dodie Smith, and I'm really looking forward to it. I thought really hard about this, and since I liked the Night Circus, I went ahead and I bought The Starless Sea, which is like dividing all opinions in Goodreads. Some people hate it, some people love it. I've never seen someone who said it's okay. It's either I hate it or I love it, so let's see what I think about it. Another one about mental health is called Darius the Great is Not Okay. It's about a boy who is battling depression, and he's of Iranian descent, and this book talks about his struggles with depression and his struggles with his Iranian descendants. And I think in this book he goes to Iran to visit his father's city, town. I don't know exactly. I don't know. I also bought Hush by Jacqueline Woodson. I don't know what this is about at all. In the poetry kick, also bought Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. This is a terrible cover for a book that is really good. I am reading it right now. It's written in verse, and it's about 3 young people who try to commit suicide, but they're not successful, and they're now in a mental hospital that they can't leave, and it's about basically their day-to-day life there, and it's written in verse, and it's really good, and this cover does not do it justice. In the poetry kick, I bought Mary Oliver's Devotion. You can't really see it. Mary Oliver's Devotion. Mary Oliver is a really beloved poet, but I think poets who really focus on nature are not for me. I think I rather like poets who focus on introspection and more like the soul and themselves, which is why I like Sylvia Plath so much, and Rilke. But Mary Oliver, like 85% of her stuff is about nature. So I already read this one. I gave it 3.5 stars, basically just because of that. But her work is really admirable. It's really good. I bought A Good Girl Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. It's a really fun mystery read, YA. On the mystery kick, I bought Night Film by Marissa Passel. I've recently seen some not very nice reviews, but I'm still really interested. It's because if a book is supposed to be a thriller, a mystery, I think that's all it's supposed to be. If you put paranormal stuff in it, I think it hinders the quality of the thriller. And that's what I heard about this book, that it may be like some paranormal stuff happens, and that would really hinder the thriller aspects, in my opinion. But I'm still good to go. I'm still gonna read it. It's a chunker, but it's written in files and video captures and stuff like that, and it's supposed to be a quick read. In the last haul, I bought Truly Devious, and since then I discovered that it ends on a cliffhanger, and it's a YA thriller mystery, so I had to go ahead and buy the second and third book. I don't know which one is the second and the third yet. So The Vanishing Stair by Maureen Johnson and The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. I bought Scythe by Neil Schusterman. One of his books that is not YA, it's YA actually, but it deals with mental health. It's called Challenger Deep. Is one of my favorite books, so I kind of already have a feeling of trusting in his writing, so I went ahead and bought Scythe and Thunderhead and The Toll. I really hope this series is good. And lastly, I bought this graphic novel called The Glass Town, which is about the four Brontë brothers, Charlotte, Anne, Emily, and Branwell. And it's about how since they were children, they were inventing worlds and writing stories about places far away and stuff like that. So it's a graphic novel that mixes the reality of their lives with the fantastical of their imaginings, and it's really good. I've already read it. I give it 5 stars. So this is it. This is the haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to have a haul not long in the future, but there's nowhere else to put these books now. I have no shelf space, and I suppose I'm gonna have to do an unhaul soon, but I don't wanna, so I have that to figure out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a really good day and awesome week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.